In 1939, Charles Minnie Dole saw a need in the Army. As the president of the National Ski Patrol, he saw that our troops were not equipped to fight in tough winter conditions. Minnie knew the U.S. Army needed mountain troops. Dole spent months lobbying the War Department to train troops in mountain and winter warfare. In September 1940, Dole was able to present his case to General George C. Marshall, the Army Chief of Staff, who caused the Army to take action on Dole's proposals to create ski units. In December 1941, the Army activated its first mountain unit, the 87th Mountain Infantry Battalion, at Fort Lewis, Washington. The unit was dubbed Mini Ski Troops in honor of Dole. The 10th Mountain Division came into being in July 1943 at Camp Hale, Colorado, as the 10th Light Division Alpine. The combat power of the division was contained in the 85th, 86th, and 87th Infantry Regiments. Training at Camp Hale honed the skills of the soldiers to fight and survive under the most brutal mountain conditions. In June 1944, the division was shipped to Camp Swift, Texas, to prepare for the Louisiana maneuvers of 1944, which were later canceled. In November 1944, the 10th Division was redesignated the 10th Mountain Division. That same month, the Blue and White Mountain Tab was authorized. The division landed in Italy in January 1945, and its first order of business was to capture Riva Ridge, a German stronghold blocking the path to Mount Belvedere and the Po Valley. Allied forces had tried to capture Riva Ridge without success. The 86th chose a lightly guarded 1,500-foot cliff for their attack. At dawn, they took the Germans by surprise, securing the ridge and paving the way to Mount Belvedere. Shortly after the 86th took Riva Ridge, the 85th and 87th Regiments made a bayonet attack on Mount Belvedere, again surprising the Germans. The 10th suppressed 7 counterattacks over the next 3 days while planning their next move. With Riva Ridge and Mount Belvedere secured, the division was in position to break the Germans' Apennine mountain line and take Highway 65, clearing the way to the Po Valley. In April 1945, the final phase of the war in Italy began. With the 85th and 87th leading the 5th Army Drive, the division attacked toward the Po Valley. On the morning of April 23rd, the 10th was the first division to reach the Po River, and the 1st Battalion of the 87th Mountain Infantry made the crossing under fire. On April 27th, the first troops reached the south end of Lake Garda, cutting off the German Army's main escape route to the Brenner Pass. During its 114 days of combat, the 10th completely destroyed 5 elite German divisions and suffered casualties of 992 killed in action and 4,154 wounded. Since the 10th Mountain Division was one of the last to enter combat, it was to be used in the projected invasion of Japan. After the surrender of Japan, the 10th was sent home to Camp Carson, Colorado. The 10th Mountain Division was disbanded in November 1945. The 10th was reactivated at Fort Riley, Kansas in 1948 as a training division. The division's mission was processing and training new soldiers for service with other Army units. The division trained over 120,000 men in 5 years. In January 1954, the Department of the Army announced that the 10th Division would become a combat infantry division and be sent to Europe under a new rotation policy. In what became known as Operation Gyroscope, the 10th replaced the 1st Infantry Division in Germany. With 9 infantry battalions, 4 artillery battalions, and 1 tank battalion, the 10th Infantry Division was a powerful military force. The 10th was replaced by the 3rd Infantry Division in 1958 and inactivated at Fort Benning, Georgia. The division was officially reactivated in February 1985 at Fort Drum, New York, as the 10th Mountain Division Light Infantry. It was the Army's first new division in over a decade, and the first in the Northeast since World War II. The 10th Mountain Division was designed to meet a wide range of worldwide infantry-intensive contingency missions. Equipment design was oriented toward reduced size and weight for reasons of both strategic and tactical mobility. Throughout the 90s, the 10th was called upon to serve in Iraq during the first Gulf War, provide disaster relief to South Florida after Hurricane Andrew, distribute relief supplies in Somalia, restore the elected government in Haiti, and keep peace in Bosnia and Kosovo. After adding humanitarian training and operational deployments together, the 10th Mountain Division earned the distinction of being the most deployed Army division during the 1990s. A period which had seen the greatest number of missions for United States military forces since the end of World War II. The division holds that distinction to this day. After the September 11th attacks, the 10th Mountain Division was the first division-level headquarters in Afghanistan. We maintained a steady presence there throughout the war, and it is truly fitting that 10th Mountain soldiers were among the last to leave Afghanistan. In 2004, 10th Mountain Division units began deploying into northern Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Our soldiers provided security and humanitarian aid and trained Iraqi police and army personnel. The 10th Mountain Division has a rich and robust history, both in combat and non-combat missions. The soldiers of the division take pride in their service and exemplify what it means to be a mountain soldier.